Hello,
Oh,
Claudia.
hey, Conrad. We
Here
made
we
it
are,
through another week, right?
another Monday. Here we go yet again
Hey,
somehow.
you're in your super mod kitchen. What's for dinner?
I, we're gonna order out today. It's too clean. We're gonna order
If, I,
out.
I was going to say, you wouldn't want to put like a little bit of, you wouldn't want sauce spilling on that lovely shiny counter.
No red sauce anywhere, exactly. But you know, we always have our kitchen very clean, so you know how that goes.
I mean, well, you don't want to see ours right now. And not dirty, just a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Lots of ideas, lots of things, right?
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
What's
So, how's
going
your week
on? What
going?
have you been doing all week?
Uh, you know, uh, Actually, for some reason, I've moved into the book review world of my world at the moment. And I'm going to tell you about a couple books real quickly. I
Are
read
you
this book
reviewing?
here. What's that?
You're reviewing? You're reading and reviewing?
No, just read. Well, you never know. But for now, I'm just reading.
Okay, yeah.
This book here is called Stranger at the Gate. It's by by a guy named Mel White. This is the older gentleman here on my left-hand side there. He is he was a ghostwriter for individuals such as Jerry Falwell, Pat Robertson,
Oh,
Billy Graham. Yeah, very Christian right folks, right? He was a ghostwriter for them, but during this time, he was also having inner turmoils about being gay. But
wow.
he knew he had to.
Interesting.
He knew
Yeah.
he was able to be a ghostwriter. He was able to make movies for them, and so he had a hard time trying to decide, should he say something or should he continue to just make his money for his family? He did this for many, many years. He got married to a high school friend of his, girlfriend of his. They had kids, lots of trauma. He put them through. He put himself through. Finally came out at the end, decided, he needs to just be who he is. This book tells about all the trials and tribulations of going through that and about writing these movies and writing books for these people. And of course, when he came out, they all turned against him, never knew him, had nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
It's really just a very, very
That's so
interesting
sad.
book. And I put a picture of him and his son, Mike, there because him and his son were actually on The Amazing Race in season 14. And
Really?
that's yeah, I had no idea until I started reading the book that that's actually who he was. And, kind of interesting to put those two together. Yeah,
Wow. So was
really
this
interesting.
is sort of recent, a new book?
The book actually came out in 1994, so it's actually a rather old book. It's just a book, I have an Airbnb at my house, right? And we just started collecting a lot of books when we go out places thinking, that
Yeah.
looks interesting. And of course, I figure, what do I have to do? I'm going to get that book and see what that's about. Ended up being pretty interesting.
That's really interesting story. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's really good. Stranger at the Gate. And here's another very Palm Springs oriented. This, of course, is Leslie Jordan.
Okay, Leslie.
Everybody knows him, right? From
Yeah.
Will and Grace and a bunch of other, stand-up
Trip
plays.
down the pink carpet. Oh,
Exactly, My Trip Down the Pink Carpet. This is really interesting, and for many, many reasons. He's a local person here in the desert, but people know him mainly from Will and Grace and his theater work. But he's been around for many, many years, really pushing his way through the entertainment world, all the while being a Baptist, brought up Baptist, being gay, trying to hold it back, trying to make sure people didn't know that he was gay. But he always says, he fell out of his mother's womb in high heels. So he knew he was gay from the minute go. What I really enjoyed about this book, and I really enjoyed about reading books now at home, is when you read a book like this, if he mentions someone's name or he mentions a movie that he made or a series that he was in or a commercial that he did, you can go, I stop my reading, I go on YouTube and I find that commercial or I find that book
yeah.
or I see that movie. He actually did a movie a long time ago. He said it was just hideous and he told all the ups and downs about it. But I found the movie on YouTube and watched it, and it was really bad, but it was also pretty interesting. And I love reading a book and be able to get involved further with the book than just reading it instead.
That's
But
great.
He's a great writer, and if you love the way he talks and the way he sounds, he writes just like that. So you feel like you're talking to him. It's really good.
Well, if I could concentrate long enough to get through a book, that would be great.
Well, you guys are so busy. But I know that you have some friends that went to the first drive-in here in town. Is that correct?
The drive. Oh my gosh, there were three, four groups of our friends. Oh, check them out.
There they are.
It's Carlos and Javier and Jen and Bob in Carlos's pink Cadillac. all outfitted in their Pepto-Bismol pink
That is
floral quadrant, right?
that is so cool looking.
They had so much fun, and you can see, I think they were pretty much right up in front.
Yes.
The screen's not that big, and of course, if you have, they have a convertible, and it was a little toasty, but not bad. But you can play, the sound through a radio station. So I would say, like, you and I have electric cars, we would be fine sitting in our electric Fiats, with the air conditioning on, because we're, no fumes are coming out. But they did say people in the back were in like SUVs with their cars on. So that was, a little bit much. But you know what? They got it open. They have it running. People came, and I think it's probably going to be a fun summer thing.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, especially when all the theaters. Look at Mary Pickford opened for 3 or 4 weeks and they had to close down again. Not just them, but all theaters. And we all love going to movies. And so, as much as I watch a bunch of movies like you probably do at home on TV, there's nothing like the big screen. And I do have to say, especially at the Camelot Theater / the Palm Springs Cultural Center. Yeah,
it's great.
Nobody has better popcorn than the.
Oh yeah, you can go to the concession stand and get get snacks and things like that.
Snacks and beverages.
A whole retro throwback vibe of like the drive-in, what we knew when we were kids. So it's, I
think it's a great idea.
I think it's fantastic.
I think it's a great idea. And I believe that they are playing the Palm Springs movie this week,
with Andy Samberg. Yeah. Yes. And that was this weekend, including tonight. I mean, not tonight, Sunday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday. Right. Sunday night. And then next week it'll be, upcoming weekend, it'll be the same movie. And then I think maybe they'll change it after that. I'm not sure.
And I think you and I are going to try to review not only that movie, but we're also going to try to review going to have this experience at the drive-in. So maybe next week our viewers will be able to experience that with us and see what's happening there.
Yeah. That'll be fun, Conrad. That'll be super fun.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. And so in the meantime, we've also been busy. You have been busy with the piano bar with Alan on Mondays, and you two did a outstanding show, a lot of fun as usual, and that had to do with let me see which direction I want to go, with the Beatles.
Ringo's 80th birthday.
Say that again. I learned to
play the drums so quickly. I really thought it was going to be super challenging, but I don't know. Alan said I was a natural.
You are a quick learner. That's what I got to say.
And look at him. He grew his hair just for the event, just for the night.
It looks like one of those chia pet hairs, doesn't it?
I know. It's a little fro, but that was, whatever.
And you did that because Ringo had his 80th birthday this past week. I'm going to put a little video in the background here that you and I, a lot of people watched this video. This was Ringo's big birthday bash.
Oh, that was so great.
Wasn't that amazing?
I loved it.
Yeah, I did too. I got to tell you, the person who I was most thrilled with in watching was Sheila E. And I have to tell you, I haven't really been a great follower / fan of hers. I like her music and stuff.
Well, from Prince, so Prince days. Prince discovered her basically. But
this was the first.
Hadn't heard about her since back in the day.
Exactly. This is the first time I heard her actually just sing a song. And I forget what song she sang, but she is a great performer. She has she
was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
well, I thought Sheryl Crow was amazing.
Yeah.
The black and white. And to the best of my knowledge, she played every single one of those instruments.
How many instruments was she playing?
Guitar, 6, 7, cello, accordion, ukulele, I mean, it was all, the screens were moving, and it was so great. I thought amazing. Everyone that performed, they were all uniquely different. Yes. So it made it so entertaining.
Yes. And there's been a lot of online virtual music shows.
Zoom room, things like that.
But this one really had I think you hit it right on the point. Each one of the performers were so different and so unique in their presentation of Ringo music, Beatles music, that it really it really did something different to this one. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was totally great. Yeah, and Ringo, of course, doesn't look a day over, I don't know, 40 maybe?
How does that guy make that? He looks amazing.
I know.
So,
and you know what else looks amazing and who is amazing is the topic of our episode tonight.
That's right.
On Brian Ellis, who, when we interviewed him, he was just leaving as Maitre'd extraordinaire from Melvyn's.
Right.
Melvyn's. He was an institution at the institution that is Melvyn's for 42 years? 42 years? Brian was there?
Yes.
We had a chance to sit down at the table and chat with him about, the stories.
Yeah.
Conrad, what an experience. Wasn't that great?
I'm so glad that we're doing this segment here for our viewers to see again, because it kind of goes back to the Ringo thing. A lot of people who were there came on to say happy birthday to him. They shared stories about him, and that's definitely what Brian was able to do with us, with all the various. He has so many stories about adventures that happened there at Melvyn's.
And these are real things that really happened.
Yes.
And his recall and the way he tells them, we were just, I think we put together like 8 stories, right? I think
so.
Right? And there's, it's got the mob, you've got Frank, you've got like everything going on. Alan McGraw, Steve McQueen, all scandal, lots of scandal, guns.
I think you and I could have sat there for hours just listening, right?
Oh, I know. And I know that he and Robin are planning something really important in the future. But, we have, of course, with everything going on now, things are sort of...
We'll wait and see, right?
Wait and see, yeah, right?
And I think you and I really have to put kudos out to our editor, director, Alan, for... I don't know how long we sat there. We sat there speaking with Brian for hours, and Alan was able to bring it all together very quickly and smoothly.
I don't know. He works his magic, right?
He does. All right. So, Claudia, good to see you as always. Alan, hello.
All right.
Thank you to all of our folks who continue to watch us on Mondays. And don't forget, always come back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for a piano bar with Alan.
Oh, yeah. So Monday night is Palm Springs Point of View. Conrad and I, we love you guys.
Love you.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
See everyone soon.
Most common topic around the swimming pool in this town or any town is, where did you go for dinner last night? Where are you going for dinner tonight?
Who doesn't know and who doesn't love Melvyn's, the iconic landmark restaurant in the Ingleside Inn in Palm Springs? And we're thrilled to be here today talking with Brian Ellis, Maitre'd of Melvyn's.
Extraordinaire.
Maitre'd extraordinaire, exactly.
So Brian, this year culminates 45 years with Melvyn, is that correct?
Yeah, I started here in 1975 September. That's when we first opened our business. I was guessing I was 24, turning 25. So I spent half of my adult life here, more than half of my adult life here.
And did you come here with the restaurant background? You were ready to go
No.
Tell us about how you came here.
I applied for a job.
Just a job.
Just a job. I knew that much more than Mr. Haber.
So let's go way, way back to the Rat Pack days.
Oh my God, that's another world.
Where can we start? Of course, we have to start with Frank.
Frank
Sinatra, because he is on the napkin. And didn't he have his own own table that he always liked to sit at?
It's in the main dining room, table 53.
Yeah.
But this was the place for him and the Rat Pack boys to hang out. Charlie Spatz, his friend, actually put the dinner party on, and it was a long table in the main dining room with 18 people, and I'm at the desk. And these 2 well-dressed gentlemen come up. He says, "You Brian?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "I'm Special Agent so-and-so and Special Agent so-and-so." He says, "Mr. Sinatra is here. He has a dinner party." The 2 agents walk up to the middle of the table. There's one gentleman sitting there, and they tap the guy on the shoulder. The guy looks this way. The other taps him on, looks this way. The guy they don't say, there were no words spoken, okay? He stands up. He puts his hands behind him, they handcuff him, walk him out the side door. The party went on. The guy was there 1 minute, gone the next, nobody knew he was gone. Nobody asked, where is he? Where are you going, Charlie? Anything like that. Boom, you hauled him out. The valet comes to me and says, "There's people out here on the motorcycle. What do you want to do?" I So I went out and Dad, I just started talking to him. And I says, give me a minute. I said, Mr. Aber, come here. He says, see those people? He says, let me go talk to them. And Mr. Aber, we didn't know who they were, okay? Steve McQueen and Al McGraw. So later that night, the valet at Lyons English Grill at the time comes in. He says, Brian, he says, Alan, he says, Mel, did you see Steve McQueen and Ali McGraw? No, I don't. He said they came up on a motorcycle. We chased Steve McQueen and Ali McGraw away because they weren't dressed properly.
Well, how about the story about, I don't know who this person was, but it's someone came in for dinner and a woman left the table, and then the police showed up and the helicopter was above.
Oh my God, that's John Compton Harvey.
Is that
Conrad? That's one of the greatest stories of all time.
Tell us.
Tell us the story.
So there were agents in this room, agents here.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you something, Claudia, Conrad. Within seconds, they had guns pointed to him.
Wow.
With the diners here?
Yeah. Okay, but they did it when.
Could you imagine that, Claudia?
No.
They did it when the lady he was sitting with worked back in those days at Lyons English Grill. Forget her name. Well, she went to the bathroom. When she get back, he stood right up. They handcuffed him. Now Bobby Boldock just recently retired too. He retired the late June of this year, after 45 years as well. So Bobby's cooking the steak Diane. This is a typical Bobby. Okay, he's cooking steak Diane. The guy's handcuffed. He's walking in. Sir, what about your steak Diane? He chases him out to the car.
Put his handcuffs behind him?
Oh, yeah, I mean, Bobby, get back in here. So anyway, Mr. Aber says this is a typical Brian story, okay? And so they arrested me. He's in the back. And I went up to one of the arresting officers. Excuse me, he has a bill. Who's going to pay it? Like that. And Mr. Aber tells his story. He said, only Brian can get away with it. So later that night, they came back and paid the bill.
So I understand there was somewhat of a gangster thing associated with Melvin's.
Okay.
So John Gotti, or
true, yes and no.
Okay, tell us some stories. Or clear it up for us.
Right. Okay. This was the playground, the desert playground of the mafias. Okay, the mafia boys. Okay. They weren't here to do business. They were here to play golf, and gin, and go to dinner. They never caused a problem here. They never caused a problem in this town, all right? But to have them here was pretty exciting.
So it's my understanding approximately 7 different presidents have been through this space?
Well, yes, actually 7 is right. One we don't count anymore. He's our present president.
No.
But there was...
I'm going to drink to that.
Yeah, well,
Me too.
Me too. Yeah,
So
no, I
7 have come through. And what's the experience like when that happens? Is there a lot of
There's a lot of build-up,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Planning
because Secret Service comes in days ahead of time. They go through your personal files. Okay. If there's anybody that's on the floor, works here, it's in question, they make sure that particular server does not work that night. Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah. But to have them here, I mean, people know when they're coming. Okay. What it does, let's say he's sitting at one of those tables over there. Well, these people sit all night to see the president walk through. They tie up a table for maybe at least 3 or 4 hours. They wait till the president walks out. Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was dating Marie Schreiber. Correct me if I'm wrong with the names.
Correct.
So back in those days, you could smoke cigarettes and stuff in the restaurant. That's how the story is. I don't have any news stories, I don't think. But anyway, and so he's sitting there one day at table 32, smoking a cigar. And a customer comes up to me and says, Brian, can you ask that gentleman to put out a cigar? You go ask him. Why would I?
That's a Terminator. You go ask him.
You go ask him. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. But the who's who
That's great.
of America, the who's who of the world, has dined in this restaurant.